Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Sphumelele Zondi. Now, South Africa is no longer Africa's largest economy. Nigeria is. Africans have also been glued to their computer monitors in the last week because of a soap opera that is online. We have the Deputy Minister of Communications visiting us tonight. The CEO of Nigeria's UCO social network is also in the studio. We are live. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter, News Network at sabc.co.za and email. Let's start with your social media and technology news. As of about 3 hours ago, South Africa is no longer Africa's largest economy. Nigeria is. Results released today show that Nigeria's gross domestic product has overtaken that of South Africa. This is because Nigeria is the continent's largest oil producer and has Africa's largest population of just under 200 million. That also means a big money for the telecommunications industry, which helped in this growth of the economy. But what does this mean exactly? Tele Kaswane makes sense of it all.
Nigeria has rebased its economy. The final figures are higher than initially thought. The GDP is now sitting at just under 5.4 trillion rands. The country also has a massive population, 100 million people to buy products. These massive government earnings have previously been accounted in Africa's most lucrative telecoms market. So too is the money generated from information technology, music, airlines, and most notably, Nollywood film productions. All of these industries were not included when the last GDP count was made in 1990. While claiming the prestige of being named Africa's largest economy, the country's massive infrastructure challenges will for some time remain, most notably in the power sector. For decades, Nigeria has failed to generate enough electricity. As a result, South Africa, with less than a third of Nigeria's total population, generates 10 times more electricity.
Consumers should breathe more easily for the next 6 months after a High Court ruling said the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, ICASA's interconnectivity fees stay. The court did, however, say ICASA was acting unlawfully here.
Mobile termination rates have been cut in half as of the beginning of April. This is despite a declaration by a High Court that the new regulations are unlawful. The court suspended the order for 6 months in public interest, giving ICASA time to regulate in accordance with the law. Vodacom says the only way to bring down the price is investing in capacity.
Vodacom, over the last 2 years, each of the last 2 years, has invested 7 billion rands in our network in South Africa. We're looking at increasing that in the current financial year to 9 billion rands.
Interconnection fees or mobile termination rates are fees that the network charge each other to carry costs on each other's network. MTN and Vodacom took ICASA to court over the asymmetric mobile termination rates. The regulator has ordered both MTN and Vodacom to pay 44 cents to smaller operators, Telkom Mobile and Cell C. They in turn are only required to pay 20 cents to the big players. ICASA says this is a victory to consumers.
The authority remains committed to reduce the cost to communicate in South Africa and to ensure that all South Africans pay a fair and transparent cost in this regard.
Kenya's popular mobile money service MPESA is making its way to Europe. This is all thanks to Vodafone. MPESA is a mobile money payment system started by Safaricom. Producer Lebo Sejake gives us more insight.
Vodafone's director of mobile money, Michael Joseph, revealed that the company plans to roll out MPESA in Europe. MPESA is a mobile money service that we've told you about several times here on Network. In the DRC, it's now being used for salary payments. In Kenya, it will now be the only form of payment in the country's matatu public transport industry. It is reported that the first rollout of the mobile money service will be launched in Central and Eastern Europe markets. Some of the countries mentioned are Romania, Albania, Czech Republic and Hungary. Vodafone has received an e-money license in those territories in Europe.
East and West Africa dominate the list of the 5 winners of the Google Africa Connected competition. The winners were selected from over 2,200 entries from 35 countries. The competition called on entrepreneurs and innovators to share stories of how the web has transformed their lives and careers.
The 5 winners of the Africa Connected competition receive around 260,000 rands in cash. They also get mentorship from a Google sponsor over 6 months. The award ceremony was held in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. Local winner Sitawa Wafula used Google Blogger to establish an award-winning blog on mental health issues.
I want to start a resource center for people with mental health conditions and their families, where they can be able to get information and support for mental health, because mental health is one of those things we talk about in hushed tones. 2 of the 5 winners came from Nigeria. Musician Eric Obu uses Google Plus and YouTube to raise awareness about underprivileged youngsters in the slums of Lagos.
So I said, okay, it's cheaper for me to just drop my video on YouTube and use Google Plus and tweet a lot on Facebook so to promote my stuff. So I was just doing it, having fun, and I started receiving viewers.
There are 21 other inspiring success stories hosted on the Africa Connected website, africaconnected.com.
The levels of creativity are very high, and I think you get a strong sense of that from the winners, from the finalists, from the semi-finalists, ranging from community and NGO initiatives right the way through to small businesses. And indeed, for the small businesses, we're seeing how the web is helping them earn more money.
Google's Africa Connected initiative celebrates how the web is changing lives in Africa. And certainly the 5 winners of this year's competition are a true inspiration.
Google's Gmail is 10 years old. I remember when it started, I was frustrated with my webmail. A friend invited me to try Gmail and I loved it. Gmail was the first email to offer 1 GB storage. That's why it became so popular. It also was the first to offer search on email. Gmail also allows users to sort out emails. It threads them for the user as well. The online platform has given Africans a new way to showcase their content. In the last week, a soap opera from Ghana has created a huge buzz on YouTube.
In the late 2000s, technology has made it possible for aspiring filmmakers to produce low-cost series that could be broadcast on the web. Since then, the so-called webisodes have become mainstream, but African-produced webisodes are still rare. But in the last week, social media has been abuzz with comments about a new YouTube web series set in the Ghanaian capital, Accra. Titled An African City, the online series looks at a group of young modern women who have returned to the continent after living in the New York and the United States of America for a number of years. The most watched episode has over 62,000 hits on YouTube.
It's not a big deal. I've moved back here for a while now, still haven't found a permanent job.
Online video sharing platforms such as YouTube are not universally accessible on the continent. As a result, the storyline of this series is skewed towards middle-class interest and avoids cliches of famine-ridden Africa.
Any of it. Please, girl, get your apartments. No, that makes her a prostitute. It doesn't make her a prostitute. It makes her a woman.
Apart from broadcasting on YouTube, the show also has a professionally designed website. Here, the visitor can learn more about the cast and to look at how the show is put together.
Lenovo South Africa recently launched its X1 Carbon ThinPad Ultrabook laptop. Network producer Lebusi Jake went to the launch in Johannesburg.
Lenovo is selling the X1 Carbon ThinkPad as the world's most powerful notebook.
Notebooks. In the corporate space, a lot of people...
It was revealed at Lenovo South Africa's offices in Johannesburg recently. The X1 Carbon Ultrabook has undergone a rather extensive facelift, which consumers might find rather cooler compared to the original ThinkPad notebook that was introduced back in 2012.
This notebook, when it first came out, they said, well, we need to do something about the screen. Now, obviously what they've done is they've really made this a whole ultra-high resolution IPS, fully integrated touch, WQHD screen, running a resolution of 2560 by 1440, which is extremely, extremely high.
Unlike other laptops, the X1 Carbon ThinkPad's hinges allow for 180 degrees rotation.
You sit clearly at the back there. Can you see it from that angle as well? It's got almost a 180-degree viewing angle on the IPS screen, which is really, really fantastic.
The business-orientated notebook comes with the latest Windows 8.1 operating system. The laptop is now available in South African stores and goes for about 21,000 rands.
The Deputy Minister of Communications has arrived. We'll talk about the school's connectivity program with him. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook and Twitter. Let's go to a short break now.
SABC, sharing 20 years of inspiration.
Your World provides trusted world, continent and local stories. We deliver breaking news from across the globe and information on the latest top stories on business, technology, politics and sport. Analysis of the big global business and economic issues as they affect consumers and investors. Make sure you don't miss Your World, weekdays between 11 and 12 midnight. We keep the nation fully informed.
Welcome back. Now, last week we told you about the school's connectivity program. The South African government plans to give public schools pupils laptops, tablets and internet access. Let's hear what some of the pupils think about this project.
Using the tablets was quite fun because textbooks, they sometimes don't have all the relative information that we need. Then tablets, they do have all the information that we do via internet.
It's a way to learn.
Teaching and learning will be easy.
Will help us a lot. Information will now be at a click away.
They're quite fast. You can work with them anytime you want at any subject.
In studio to tell us more about the school's connectivity program is South Africa's Deputy Minister of Communications, Stella Ndabeni-Adams. Hello and thank you for being a part of our network.
Thank you, Budi, and good evening to you and your viewers at home.
Good evening, Miss. Now, what is the purpose of the school's connectivity program, Deputy Minister?
The purpose of the school's connectivity project is simply to expose all young children out there, especially those that are in schools, to expose them to technologies. As you know that we are advancing as the country, we want to catch up with other African countries that have left us behind. Therefore, we have a responsibility to promote that they become innovative. The only way for them to be innovative is when they're exposed to technologies.
How many schools are being targeted here?
We're targeting the whole 27,000 schools in the country, but right now we've phased it. The first phase is the one that we were launching last week in Free State.
Tell us about the other phases. How is that going to go?
Well, let me first tell you about the first phase, whereby we connected 1,650 schools with telecom, and then 8,000 with the private sector, your Huawei, your IT Master that came on board, your MTN and Vodacom foundations. But now what we are saying, it's high time that we tap into the monies that we have invested as government. We have been making good policies and people have been making profit out of those. Therefore, we are utilizing the universal service obligations to make sure that the operators do connect all the schools. Right now, the second phase, we are focusing in terms of connecting about 4,500 schools from now up to 2017.
So from now up to 2017, we go on the second phase. Now, can you please tell us about the teachers as well? Because you might find that teachers receive these tablets or laptops and they can't really use them.
We did look into that. That's why we partnered with Intel to ensure that they provide training to teachers, not just for them to use computers, but for them to understand how do you then utilize ICTs as enabling tools in your area of work. Therefore, we don't just teach them how to use computer. We say, as a teacher, you are planning your lesson. How can you then introduce that technology to help you improve also your ways of doing things, whilst it's also assisting the student to benefit?
The first phase, is it in all South African provinces? How did the first phase go?
The first phase, we touched all provinces. The biggest focus, of course, was in the biggest provinces, your Eastern Cape and KZN. But we covered all the provinces in South Africa.
All right, and how are the kids feeling about this? We heard some earlier saying that they think it's going to be a great help.
The smile you see on their faces, believe you me, it's those times that you're like, wow, the spirit of Tata Mandela still lives in us. Because every time you introduce them to this, they get excited, not because they want to go to Facebook, but they understand the importance of utilizing that tablet that comes with internet. But it's not just a tablet. It comes with internet so that they have access to information. They're able to do research in their areas of work.
There's an issue of internet connectivity as well, because if they're getting these gadgets, one would think that the schools would have internet access as well, no?
Yes, of course they do have internet. Remember, I'm Department of Communications. I'm not Science and Technology. Therefore, ours is to expose them to technology, but it must come with internet. That's why I'm saying right now, all the schools that we have rolled out, they have 2-year connectivity. The second phase, we're going to have the operators themselves, your Vodacoms and MTNs of the world, connecting them for a year. Then after 2016, USASA as government kicks in to make sure that we maintain the program.
And you mentioned that you've partnered with your Intel. You mentioned Vodacom as well. How have you chosen the partners that you're dealing with?
Actually, we did not specifically choose. We invited everybody on board to say, South Africans, this is your opportunity to plow back. Remember, education is everybody's business. Therefore, everybody that is involved in whatever area of work in terms of ICTs, come on board. Let us understand that ours is not just to expose them to technology, but the content is very crucial. We want to become innovators of the world. We want to develop Mark Zuckerberg of South Africa. Without that, then we cannot achieve that. That's why we said Intel and others that were on board, come join us. And then Intel was the one that heeded the call.
I suppose it's going to help the kids with the future as well?
Definitely, they are going to benefit a lot. That's why we're looking forward. We also established an apps factory here in Joburg as the Department of Communications. We have Mixit already that was invented in South Africa. We're looking forward to having biggest competitors of Facebook here at home.
Okay, you're mentioning the apps factory. I'm not going to let you go until you give us at least one line about the apps factory. What's that all about?
The apps factory is there to help those that are in school, but above metric, not in university yet, but at FET level, to have an opportunity to be exposed on how to develop applications that will talk to the South Africans.
All right. Deputy Minister of Communications, thank you very much for being a part of our network tonight.
Thank you a lot, Sandy.
All right. Now, Nikon South Africa has launched their flagship camera in Pretoria this week. Here's our producer, Boitumelo Kasa, with the story.
What do you get when you put a camera manufacturer and an automobile company? A lifestyle fit for a photographer. Nikon has teamed up with Jaguar to launch their flagship product, the D4S. After a quick crash course, I took it out for a spin. Literally, in a jag. Focus. My mission here is to test out the camera. This baby is designed for professional in a sports field. The camera has a tough exterior that is weatherproof and water resistant. It was just too heavy for my tiny frame. It takes 11 frames per second. There's ISO sensitivity of 100 to 25,600, making it easier to adapt to any environment. The Nikon D4S has advanced multi-cam autofocus module with face detection. However, many professionals are disappointed with the fact that it only has 16.2 megapixels, a counterintuitive measure from the D800 with 32.6 megapixels. One other down is the lack of Wi-Fi. Yes, it has the Ethernet adapter, but it's not instant. Not too sure that the 100 grand price tag will help. You can make a movie with this baby. The maximum recording time at the highest quality is 10 minutes or 20 minutes at a normal quality. We even shot this video using the D4S.
Now that Boitumelo Kasa has been posting to everyone about those fast cars. After the break, we talk about UCOS.
That's Sports Live, daily at 8:30 p.m. on SABC News.
I'm looking at Philip Hawkins, he's looking dapper today, and then Sam Murray has got all the results, including that heartwarming try by the Bucks.
Spongile Khumalo, Mbuso Khoza, Ringo Madlingozi and Kulichana are some of the musical acts that will headline this year's Live at the Market Theatre series of music concerts.
Justice Minister Jeff Khadebe says government is not undermining the independence of public protector Thuli Madonsela.
The public protector has, in our view, unreasonably denied us the opportunity to properly engage the report.
An airport resembles a war zone in the Philippines. In its wake, damage, debris, and death.
Why did you guys decide to name the debut album Treasure?
Treasure, oh, because of my late granny told me that I'm a stone, then I saw it like, okay, since I'm a stone, this is a treasure.
That's Morning Live, daily at 6 a.m. on SABC News.
We've heard about Wechat from China, Facebook and Twitter from America, and Mixit from South Africa. UCOS is a social networking site with the biggest market in Nigeria. In the studio to tell us more about it is CEO Thomas Fashina. Hello, and thank you for being a part of our network.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, how does UCOS differ from other social networks?
To start with, the social network. And how does it differ? I think it combines the best of all worlds. It combines the best of microblogging with allowing you to be able to upload photos, allowing you to be able to create blogs, and allowing you to be able to share status updates and even share videos. We call it Connect, Share, and Play.
Connect, Share, and Play.
Yes.
So that doesn't seem like it differs at all from other social networks, apart from Connect, Sharing, and Playing, which I probably would get from Facebook.
Yeah.
Which I probably would get from Twitter.
Yeah.
How else does it differ?
Originated from Africa, with focus on Africa, and helping us to bridge the digital divide in Africa. UCOS originated from Africa. We started out from a church that was using Twitter, and decided that, look, if we have this many people on Twitter, why don't we write our own social network? And UCOS was born. And since then, we've had UCOS being accessed from over 150 countries all over the world. And the biggest market, like you rightly pointed out, is Nigeria, but South Africa is doing very well. South Africa ranks somewhere between second, third, fourth, depending on what day and what time of the month. But yeah, we're getting significant traffic from all over the world. Our focus is Africa. Our focus is Africans in diaspora. So we focus on Africa as a continent and Africans in diaspora. Wherever Africans are all over the world, we want to bring the Africans together to connect, share, and play.
You mentioned that your biggest market is Nigeria and you're growing in South Africa. Why Nigeria, do you think, has taken it up so much?
In your intro earlier on, you talked about 200 million people in Nigeria. I think that speaks for itself. Nigeria is big in Africa. Nigeria is easily times 3, times 4 of the population of South Africa. And when you look at the internet usage pattern in Africa, Nigeria has this huge lead above every other country. So naturally, it follows from that.
You also mentioned that when you started it was started in a church. So would one be right if they called it a Christian social network?
I would not call it a Christian social network, but I'd say that we have great values. We try to maintain the sanctity of the platform, and we are user-regulated, self-regulated, where we allow users to complain about contents that are being shared that probably do not meet our values. So yes, it started as a church, but today it's open to everybody. It's open to everybody, irrespective of religion, irrespective of orientation, whatever you belong to, you subscribe to. If you can find time to share, connect, share, and play on UCOS, you are welcome.
We've heard of social networks that are starting up and are asking people to pay, or they're asking people to join per invitation. How does UCOS work?
UCOS is open and free. UCOS is not paid for, and you will not pay for it. Yes, we're working on a premium platform that will come through later on, But even when that comes to, UCalls will always be available to everybody, free, no charge. And if you like what we have to offer for the premium service, then you can subscribe to it, which we are not ready with that yet, but it's something that we're working on at the moment.
Could you then describe the user experience? It's saying that
the user experience is great.
The
user experience is great. You can currently access UCalls through about 5 platforms today on the desktop, which any desktop, any browser, you can access it on any of our apps. We have apps on the iOS platform for the iPhone, apps on the Android platform and on the BlackBerry platform. And we also have what we call the mobile web platform. And the user experience is great. You get onto it and you keep surfing, you keep connecting, and you share your information.
All right. Yukosi Thomason Fashina, thank you very much for joining us here on
Network. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you, sir. Let's take a look at what's been happening in social media. A turning point in social media is on France pulling out of Rwanda's 20-year genocide commemorations. This is after President Paul Kagame accused the European country of being involved in the genocide that led to over 800,000 people dead in about 100 days. April 1994, when Rwanda's president Juvenal Habyarimana and Burundi Kariamira were killed as their plane was shot down in Kigali. This took place earlier today. Some have been focused on Nigeria's economy. Nigeria is widely expected to overtake South Africa as the continent's biggest economy this week. GDP per capita is still higher in South Africa. Nigerian leaders have shared their excitement on this. Celebrities went to the South African Film and Television Awards last night. Some shared pics of their awards. There were backstage selfies and in general, people were impressed with the ceremony. Right, that's all we have for you. We leave you with a YouTube video that brings to life all of our computer problems. Find us on Facebook and Twitter. We are on SABC Network. From Ms. Pumelele Zondi and the rest of the team, have a good one.
Damn it! I can't open any of the folders on my desktop.
Hey, you think that's bad? All of my documents are frozen. Yeah.
What was that? Windows just crashed. I'll see if anybody else is having problems. Hey, Joe, how are you guys doing?
Everything is running really slow.
Hey, Stephanie, you having any problems?
I'm locked out!
Bill, can you guys get on the network?
No, we keep getting dropped.
That's it. I'm calling IT. Hey, we're having...
I know, I'm working on it.
What's going on?
I think it's a problem with the firewall.
Sounds like this might be a while.
That's it. I'm gonna try restarting.
No! No! Greg. What? My mouse is broken.